So first of all, I would love to thank you for accepting being on board in our initiative. What we're actually doing is Rayu is a web-based platform. We host service providers for all family members. Our main objective is to help people make better decisions. And for parents, there is no more critical decision than choosing the educational system that they're going to enroll their kids in.
Yep.
So that's why what we're trying to do is to explain for parents what is the characteristics of different educational systems. And there is no one better than you to explain for us the British system. So I'd love to hear this from you.
Okay. All right. Are you going to ask me particular questions, or you just want me to talk about the British system generally?
What we need to do is like the basic questions parents would like to know, like what is the British system? How will it impact their children's characters? How does it differ than other systems? I think these are the main things that goes around in their mind while choosing between different systems.
Okay. All right. So I will start by explaining the British system, really. The British system covers a wide range of approaches to learning. But all of those approaches to learning can be summarized, really, in terms of trying to ensure that every child is able to develop to their full potential in whatever areas they have particular talents or particular gifts. So it provides a really broad education, so that children can go on to be the best that they can be in the area in which they either excel or they really want to excel. So it's a system which really doesn't preclude anybody from achieving what they would like to achieve. And that really starts from early on in their lives. When we talk about our early years, we mean our 4 and 5-year-olds. We provide a system whereby they are able to enjoy learning, to develop really positive attitudes towards learning, and they feel that learning is something personal, it's important, it's about them and their future and their progress and their development. So it's very much about creating a very positive attitude towards learning. And as children go through what we call primary school or junior school, the aim is really for them to develop their own talents, develop their feeling for their own learning, so that they feel that they are an individual, that they are important, that they are in control to some degree of what they are learning, whilst we are ensuring that they meet very much standards that are expected of age groups, so that children are progressing through, they are meeting the standards that we would expect, and they're able to enjoy and develop their skills and their talents. Now, in the British system, as we go towards the senior school or the secondary school, it is a situation that children are required to study all of the subjects that you would expect in a traditional curriculum. So they have to do science, they have to do mathematics, they have to do humanities, they have to do languages. All of those things go together to give a really broad curriculum. So in the early years of the senior school, they are learning in so many different areas that they are going to be able to make a choice. If they want to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, they will have the options to do that at any point as they go through their senior school. It's not precluded by the fact that they aren't studying particular subjects. So it's very broad and it's very balanced. But it's also focused on trying to ensure that children are growing up in a disciplined manner, in a manner which shows respect, in a manner which shows they understand what it means to be a citizen. We often talk about being a member of a family. You have responsibilities in your family. We talk about being a member of a school. You have responsibilities in your school. We talk about being members of a community, of a wider community, for example, in the village or the town that you live. And then we talk about your national responsibility to you as a person from a particular country, and then your global responsibility. And all of these things come together to make you a person. So intimate with your family, and then spreading out into the rest of the communities in which you live. So you are very much a global citizen with responsibilities. to your family, to your friends, to your country, to everything, to the world around us. And that will have an impact on your actions and the way that you behave and the decisions that you make, including respect for the environment, including respect for everyone that you meet, including respect for your family and for the people in your lives. And really, a British education then leads on to either the IB diploma or to A-levels, which are when you do start at the age of 17, you do start to make choices about your future career and your university path. And obviously, Britain has hugely outstanding universities. I mentioned the Oxfords and the Cambridges, but also the Russell Group, the Imperial Colleges, world-leading universities, which give students then an opportunity to really excel and to really achieve huge success and go on and really be whatever they want to be in the world. It's also the case that a British education is looking to make the world a better place. So we believe very strongly in respect and also the rule of the law. So, for example, if in a school there are accepted practices, there are rules, there are expectations, those are there for a reason. They should be respected, and they are part of a democratic process. So it's important that children have a say in the sorts of ways that schools run and how laws and rules are put together. And they respect that that's part of a community, and not just the children, but the teachers and the parents and the wider community. So that mutual respect for each other, that respect for the law, those democratic ideas are really fundamental to a British education. And as part of that respect, we really emphasize tolerance, the fact that you do not make or have judgments or make views about other people based on where they come from, based on their religion, but you respect that people have different philosophies, different faiths, different beliefs, and you all work together to create a big sort of happy world community where everybody is willing to accept differences, in fact, enjoy differences. And one of the things that we really would find dull would be if we were all the same. So differences actually are what make the world interesting. And I think from a British and a global perspective, that's something that we would really be looking to encourage. In terms of the British School of Cairo, we take all of that Britishness, and we really try to work to ensure that our children are resilient, that they are strong, they have character, they believe in what's right, they're curious, they're courageous, they get involved in things, they're engaged in the world around them. Ultimately, they are global citizens who will make a positive impact on the world around them. So that, I think, is very much where British education is.
It does not just focus on the educational aspect. It also focuses on the character, the students' character, and how will they have a better life for themselves and their surroundings.
Absolutely. In many ways, a British education is about creating a start, which will be a journey of lifelong learning for you. And if you are going to be a lifelong learner, you need to be a resilient and a positive learner. And so education does not finish at 16 or 18. It goes on forever. And we are trying to set the ground, a fertile ground, where you can develop attitudes, resilience, which will help you to understand how you can overcome challenges, how you can learn from mistakes, how you believe that really you can achieve anything you want to, provided you have the right attitude and the determination. And we know from many examples around the world that is the case. The biggest barrier to you learning is yourself and giving up. And so we want to create those resilient, those confident learners who do understand that they can achieve things and they will get things wrong, but they learn from those mistakes and they have a positive outlook. So it's that attitude which is really fundamental, but it also brings in an attitude that is positive about the world around them. So they respect other people as well in terms of what they are trying to achieve. I would say one of the big things about a British education too is that it's based on where you are now. So all the time that we are looking at our learning, we are working out where are our children now and making sure that the learning connects with where they are now. And the learning isn't just happening in isolation. It's linked to their current understanding, their current knowledge, their current skills. And we want to develop skills from that rather than in isolation from them. So it's a big picture.
It's amazing. I love the holistic approach.
Yes, exactly. And it is holistic in the sense that each child is different, each child is unique and needs to be treated as such. Although we do work in classrooms with 20 children, but we know that each child is going to have their own particular issues, their own particular talents, their own particular opportunities. And really it's about developing those. And we want parents to be part of that process. So there are some parts of the world where parents are regarded as not important. In a British education, parents are vital. They are vital in terms of working with their children and with the school. So we often talk about a model where we have the student, the parent, and the school in a partnership, a triangle that supports the child's learning. Now, sometimes children don't always appreciate their parents being involved in school. They want their parents and school to be separate.
Definitely.
We are very keen to make sure that those two things go together.
Especially, I think, in the older ages.
Yes, that's right. So for us, communication and working with parents is absolutely vital. So again, it's a hallmark.
And
of
I
British
think this
society.
is what might be what basically differs the British system from other systems.
I think it's a very important part of, yes, that we deliberately set out to work in partnership with our parents. And we deliberately ensure that our parents understand that their child is a unique individual and has to be treated as such. And not just treated as a product that goes through a system. Well, the British system is also, it is pretty academic. That there are high standards, and there is an expectation that you will, with your positive attitude, you will work hard and you will achieve. So yes, the standards are high.
Can we call it a demanding system?
I think it is demanding. Yes, I think it's demanding on everybody. Really, it's demanding on our teachers, because you don't become a global citizen by studying about global citizenship. You do it by example. You do it by seeing people who are behaving as global citizens, who are strong role models, who are people that will inspire you. So it is an important part of our program that our teachers do relate to our children, and they do have a positive impact on them as role models who will inspire them. So it is challenging. And we also expect our children to be able to pick up and to understand the implications for them in terms of their own actions. So for us, service is a very big part of our learning. How you actually are going to give something back to your community is a big part of a British education. But also, we do expect you, to go through and to be able to study across the curriculum. And the standards are high. We often hear it said that a British education, is of a higher standard in terms of the speed with which we go through some of the curriculum. But we believe that by preparing a positive attitude and a positive mindset, that children are ready for those learning. And we do make sure that we support children. As I said before, it's important that the learning is linked to where the child is. So although the standards are high, by working individually, we help children to achieve those standards. And certainly here at our school, yes, the exams are demanding and the programs are tough, but all of our children do really well because of the help and the support they get and the positive attitudes which they show.
Is there any prerequisite before entering the British system?
Well, it really
are
depends.
There kids that cannot go through the British system? It would be really...
No, there are not. No, there are not. I think there comes an age, maybe where some children, if they haven't been through a British system, it can be difficult for them to transfer into a British system. Okay. But I think it's certainly suitable for all students. And we often measure success by exam results, and of course we do. But we also measure success by what children after they leave school and where they are in 5 and 10 years. And if they are positive learners who have made an impact and are going through their own careers, that's the success. That's what education is for. It's to set you out into the world. But if you've reached the age of maybe 12 and you haven't been through a British sort of style education, you may find that transfer more difficult. Some children can manage it, but it may be more difficult. So it is suitable for all people, but clearly it's preferable to be in an early as age as possible. Where are you going to be publishing your comments, and is it in your magazine?
No, we have a platform, so it's a website.
Yes.
So we'll be
Yes.
we'll be sharing this on it, and we'll write all what you said as a blog for this video.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But everyone will just know while deciding what will be the difference between all the systems. We're having also interviews with other schools for other systems, and
yes, I get that.
to help them decide which is the better for their lifestyle, their personality suits them better. That's
yes. Can I add then, when I talked about a broad curriculum, of course it would also include access to sport and physical exercise, which we believe are a really important part of learning. Because the old adage, if you have a healthy body, you have a healthy mind, and that is a really important part. So all of our children, right from the early age, will do sport and physical activity, and that will be an important part of their curriculum. And again, we are trying to ensure that when they get older, they will continue to enjoy and play sport. It's not just the fact that we want you to learn. Correct. We don't want you to sort of play sport when you're at school and then leave and never do it again. We want you to have enjoyed it and to feel positive, so that when you do.
I think you just answered the whole 3 questions, and I think anyone who is searching for a system, now they have all their answers, all their questions answered. Do you face any questions that you feel like people they need to know?
Well, I think in terms of thinking about Britain and its history, Britain has a very interesting history. I think.
How long has this system been applied?
It is the case that British education has gone through it does go back to way beyond the last century, when school, more formal education for all children became traditionally regarded as a British education. That we've developed a model now which is very different from that traditional view that you have of boarding schools and children not being listened to, all of those sort of. So it is very much the case that we have learned so much from that history, and education has changed so much. And schools are very positive environments where children are supported, encouraged, and also they are very much changing and evolving because of the different issues that we face. The world now is very different from what it was even 20 years ago, and lots of the challenges, how we deal with an online environment, how we deal with some of the issues now in the world. It's important that our young people understand those issues, and that they're helped to cope with some of the demands of the modern world. It's not easy growing up now with all of the social media around you, with all of the online environments that people are expected to operate within. And for a young child growing up, those can be quite intimidating and quite scary. So it's very important that we prepare and we support and we help children to exist in those worlds. And that clearly wasn't the case 20, 30 years ago. So there are many things which have changed and which have, and our children, I believe, have a very exciting world to grow into, but also a world which they need to be helped and to be supported to make sure that they are safe in that world.
Sure.
They're not going to end up in a situation where they are going to make mistakes which are going to have a huge impact. It's really important that they are not only healthy in mind, walk from and get advice from, because they do operate in quite a difficult world.
So just need some guidance, which needs some.
They do, and they also need to know that people are there to help them, whether it's their teachers or their parents, whether it's their friends, and giving each other good advice so that friends sort of support each other rather than to do something which maybe isn't very smart. But actually they work together.
I just want to thank you so much for getting with us on this initiative, and I hope people will find this useful for them, guide them to choose their kids' educational system.